Welcome. This is the Eastern Influenced Corporate Leader podcast, hosted by Alana May Mitchell, where each episode we tune in to Eastern wisdom.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Eastern Influenced Corporate Leader. We have a delightful guest on the show today, and her name is Julie Lewin. Julie Lewin is the co-founder of LightCode Lab and the developer of mindset resources for entrepreneurs, coaches, practitioners, and consultants. She has been a medical intuitive for 37 years and is a multi-times published author. Julie has facilitated more than 50 retreats and workshops, and she is a meditation teacher on Insight Timer. Julie also lives a happy and contented life on half an acre with 8 chickens. She joined us on the show today. Thanks so much for your time and insights, Julie.
Oh, thank you for having me, Alana. So good to be here.
Oh, you're so welcome. And you have such an interesting and diverse background. When I was reading through, there's all these like intuition, which is really important, energy that you work with, vibration as well. So,
look, it's been my life's work. I started when I was 25. So I feel like I've had many lifetimes, and exploring this concept of energy and frequency and, self-healing through visualization, all of that has been my life's work. And it's led to an extraordinary life, even though I like to say I'm living an ordinary life in an extraordinary way.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's really special there in how the ordinary can become the extraordinary.
Exactly.
Particularly when you're super present.
Exactly. And I actually have a process. Look, obviously over 37 years, life has evolved and developed, and what I knew nothing when I started, except that I didn't like the outline of the life that a clairvoyant said that I would have if I stayed doing what I was doing. And there's a common saying, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And I can tell you, when I had the clairvoyant reading when I was 25, I didn't like what I'd got. I didn't like the way my life was going. I didn't like what my future looked like. So in that hour, I made a decision that I was going to change what I did with my life to intentionally create a life that I wanted. And that's been my whole adult life since that moment. And, I had to learn the hard way, and I didn't understand so many things about energy, about boundaries, about, connecting in with people, and that you can actually retain a residue of their energy if you don't have a practice of cleaning your energy. And so I became very ill, and at one point I thought that I might die, and then I said to God, oh no, I've changed my mind. I don't want to die. What do I have to do to live? And that was only 21 years ago. And so the answer that I got was meditate for an hour in the morning and an hour at night. And so I developed this fierce meditation practice and learned how to let go. I spent 3 years every single day strategically or mindfully trying to surrender. And I can tell you, you can't. There's no such thing as mindfully surrendering. Am I allowed to swear, Alana?
Oh, I think not. You could communicate your essence in that.
In a clean way. So I said, when I got to that moment of, I can't do this anymore, it literally was I'm done. And that was such a euphoric experience of letting go. I realized the 3 years that I'd been trying to let go, and I put trying in quotes,
Yeah.
all I had to do was actually let go and say, I can't do that anymore. And what I took from that moment was, okay, you're going to let go of control and you're going to let the universe do what it knows to do. And I thought, whoa, I'd never thought of it like that before. And so that's exactly what I did. I let go of the control, and I just let go of any form of trying to guide my life through that difficult part of my life. And so that's when the tension left. That's when the worry and the concern and the stress all fell away. And when that falls away, you actually have space. It's almost like you're in this container of space. And that's when creativity drops in. That's when movement is made possible. And then we have insights into, oh, I could do that. I wonder what that would look like. And so I started to wonder. And let me tell you that awe and wonder is the mystery and the magic of leading a life that is always extraordinary. There's always something extraordinary happening when you see through the lens of awe and wonder. And how do you describe awe and wonder? I don't know if you've ever witnessed a child lying on the grass, watching the ants moving in the blades of grass. They are totally focused. They're in awe of what the ants are doing and the mystery of, you know, they're all working and they're all cooperating and they're doing their business of looking after whatever their job is in the scheme of things. And so that's how awe and wonder fills my life. And that's how I like to explain it to people, so that there's more than just, you know, getting up, eating breakfast, going to work, coming home, eating lunch or eating dinner, watching TV, going to bed and getting up the next day and doing it all over again. There has to be something more. And that something more doesn't happen to us. We actually have to take some action. We have to be intentional about how we want to live our life. And that's what the last 21 years has been about for me, to live an intentional life and do things that bring me joy. And I laugh every day. I'm not saying I don't have down days, I do. I have the same sort of roller coaster as everyone else, but I've got resources. I've got things that I've worked out that if I do that again, when I feel like that, then I don't stay down in the valley of life too long.
Sure.
And I'm moving back up the mountain and seeing what heights I can scale and see what view I can see. And, you know, for sure, when you get there, you go, oh, but I want to be on that mountain over there. And we know we can't hop from one mountaintop to another. We go down onto the valley floor and we traverse the valley floor so we can climb that next mountain. But when you know that, it's not unexpected that you have that ebb and flow. But if you're not conscious that that's normal, then you think there's something wrong with you. But there's not. it's normal to have the ups and downs or the ebb and flow in life. And that's part of the mystery. That's part of the magic. It's part of living an extraordinary life, of being able to find something magical wherever you are on the journey of from one mountain peak to another.
Oh gosh, that's so incredible. And I feel really where in that moment of surrender, that where you took us to, is that the feeling of space, spaciousness that comes from that, and all the doors that opened up from that place as well. And then as you were talking through the ebb and flows, you know, to have the awareness of the observer witnessing yourself going through those experiences and knowing that those experiences are there for you as gifts in a way, and they're not necessarily you, or you're not defined by those, that you can see yourself going through those in your, like, your person form, your human form as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I don't know what made me start doing this, but I started taking photos of flowers in our garden. You know, when I was on the valley floor or climbing the mountain and it got a bit hard, I just down tools and I'd get up and I'd go outside and I'd take flower photos for about 20 minutes. And I discovered something really interesting, that if you go close to a flower, and I go like really close, like about 6 inches from the flower with my phone, but if you go really close to a flower, even if there's no breeze, the flower will move.
Oh.
And the more jagged, I call it jagged, your energy is, or the more out of alignment your energy is, the more it will move. So it's almost like the flower is responding to your energy field that we can't see, but the flower can feel. And so to take a really crisp, clear photo of the flower, I had to learn to still my energy really fast. And so I would still my energy, and it was a real centering process. And then I would take the photo, and the photo was always magnificent. But if I hadn't stilled my energy enough, there was something lacking in the photo. There was something missing that was indefinable, but it was a feeling. And so I learned to still my energy, take the photo, get that macro, and get, like, I'd like to go really down into the photo. And I love taking photos of small flowers, like weeds. Like, we would walk past them on a walk and go, it's nothing, not even see it. But I see the small flowers and I wonder, there's the word, wonder, what they look like down deep inside. And so the interesting thing that happened, Alana, I did this every day. I don't do it every day now, but I did do it every day for years. And that's how I learned to really still my energy fast. And it's a feeling that you get in your body when your energy is still. And I do coaching. And what I noticed, that the more I took the photos of the flowers, especially the small flowers, the more laser focused I was with my coaching.
Oh, incredible. That's where I was going to go to with you.
Yeah, because I started noticing all the small things, like the small flowers, the color, the texture, the smaller flowers, they're on really fine stems. So they respond even more sensitively to your energy than the thicker stemmed larger flowers, because they're more robust. So I think that was why my passion became photographing the smaller flowers, so that I could just hone my ability to be balanced and to find the middle line and to walk that equanimous line. And when working with my clients, my goal is to be in that equanimous state so that whatever they say to me, I still stay balanced, and that I can give them the observer perspective and guide them to find what's going on through their own revelation by me asking questions and by listening. You know, sometimes all anyone needs is to have someone listen without trying to fix them. And so being able to take these photographs has taught me how to do that. So how everything is nature.
Yeah. And I'd love to tap into what you were talking about from the coaching perspective, with having that equanimous, if I can get my words right, view. What it is like to be in the presence of a leader who has that capacity, or even for you in that capacity with your people. What has that done for your people?
The biggest thing I would say, Alana, is that they feel empowered. They feel safe, that everyone says how safe they feel, that they can be, do, say whatever is going on in their world without being judged. So for the coach or the consultant or the leader, the manager, the magical part of your role is for your client, your employee, your staff to feel safe, to show up as they are, and then elevate them. And to elevate them in a way that feels like it's their magic, that it's something that they've done, not something that you've done. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I hear that in its fullness, and also have the view of having the container for the person and holding the space. So I really feel like, looking back and listening to all the depth that's in your story and your journey, there is really that process of how you surrendered, created the space and opened into the space, and then offering that as a service to other people. So you really went first.
Absolutely. And I really like the way that you've said that, Alana, because when I work with people, I don't ask them or suggest anything to them that I haven't done myself. Why would I do that? Because I think that the best way is to show the way.
Yeah.
Talk the way.
Yeah. The being the change.
Being the change that you want to see. Yeah.
I'd love to take us to one of the questions on being the change and being more conscious in business, and whether it's your business or whether it's an organization that you work for. What are some of when you are more conscious, what are some of the ways that you shift the energy in being more conscious in that state?
So the first thing is, I learned about the drama triangle, which was developed by Cartman for Alcoholics Anonymous. And when I heard that principle, I loved it. And so we teach that to all of our clients. And I I'll tell you a story. I met a woman at a market, and I don't know why she told me her personal story, but she did. And it was quite a traumatic story that involved the family law courts. She said it had been going on for 9 years. And I said, can I share something with you? I always ask permission if I'm going to share some wisdom that can take or leave. She said, please. And I told her about the drama triangle by Cartman. And I said, so see here where this is happening. I said, what's happening is you're playing the role of the persecutor, and your ex-husband is playing the role of the victim, and his new partner is playing the role of the rescuer.
Right.
And so there's this dynamic that's going on. And then as the energy shifts, you all take on different roles within the drama triangle, and it gets very messy. And so I only spent 20 minutes with her, and she rang me and she said, Julie, you've helped me more in 20 minutes than my psychologist in 20 years. And I just wanted to let you know that we actually finalised property settlement.
Oh, wow.
Based on that 20 minutes that you spent with me, because I could see what I was doing to aggravate the situation. And so what happened was she flipped up into being the observer, and she could see the dynamics playing out. And look, I gave her a little bit more information, but that's her personal story. But that's the thing, when you have knowledge of the drama triangle, if you're down in the trenches and you're in the drama, whether you're the rescuer, and I'm a recovering rescuer, so
I am too.
Very well. There is a moment when you become the persecutor, because you think that you're not being valued, you think that you're not being respected, because no one wants your advice. No one wants you to tell them what to do, even though you might know what they need to do. If you tell them what to do and rescue them, this is one of my soapbox moments. You are actually denying those people the opportunity of growth. And when do people learn the most? It's through their growth opportunities. And that might be necessary for something that's coming up further down in their life's journey. They might need that wisdom that if they were allowed to go through that growth moment, they would be prepared. And so when I got that, I did a lot of cringing, because I've done a lot of rescuing and a lot of inhibiting people's personal growth, because I would just give them what to do next. But if you feed people fish, they're not going to be able to fish and feed themselves. And so once I got that, when you're in the observer position, you're then able to co-create with source. You're able to be creative. You're able to look at the whole picture. You see through more lenses, and you have space, more space than if you're down in the trenches. So my advice to anyone would be, ask yourself, what role am I playing in this drama? And in the act of asking yourself, what role am I playing, you're actually becoming the observer, because you cannot identify your role unless you are the observer.
Gosh, for the people listening to this, I would rewind and listen to that again and ask yourself and take notes on that. I've also had quite a deep integration with the drama triangle, and I'm so glad that you're exploring that, Julie, because it's been so impactful, and you said that so eloquently.
Yeah, thank you. So that's probably been the number one thing that has been instrumental in me feeling that I am very good at what I do. It's understanding that.
Yeah. And even the questions that you asked in what role am I playing? Who am I showing up as? All of that. I mean, there's a whole body of work out there on the drama triangle that, I mean, a beautiful summary there. If you're interested in listening to more or researching more on that, I highly recommend it. And I'd love to see more people take that into like conflict resolution in the workplace setting. It's hugely powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. And then so touching a little bit more on leadership, and then you spoke a little bit earlier about energy and vibration, and particularly in that story that you were sharing when you were able to calm your energy and to take those photos of the delicate, smaller flowers.
Yeah.
What role does a leader's frequency or vibration play in their leadership, and how is it important from your experience?
I'm going to go back to a story that I heard, and I can't remember who the person was because I heard it third hand, but it was a female CEO of Australia Post, and it could have, like, this is going back many years, and it may have been South Australia or one of the states, but CEO Australia Post, I don't know her name, but it was female, and she was asked, what is your most important task as the CEO? And she said, I believe I need to manage my energy. I need to know that I am centered and that my energy is the best it can be, because the ripple impact of my state of mind impacts the entire company.
Incredible.
And that stuck in my mind, and I thought, of course it does. Of course, the person at the top cascades their energy through their entire business. And that was another pivotal moment for me, Alana, in hearing that story, but then integrating the learning I understood into my business and into the coaching work that I do. So that's why I go outside and I take photos of flowers, because if my energy gets out of balance, which it can do, it's my responsibility to rebalance my energy, not somebody else's. It's not, oh, it's your fault, or there's no blaming game. It's, what do I need to do to return to balance? And you do whatever you need to do to return to balance. For me, and if anyone wants to see my flowers, it's on Instagram. And I feel that by aligning to the energy of nature, which, you know, a flower doesn't bud, go through the process of opening, and then it dies. It doesn't say at the bud stage, oh, I don't want to die, so I'm not going to fully open. The flower knows what its role is, and its role is to be a bud, to open fully in all its magnificence and be the best it can in the time that is available for it. And then it dies. Like, there's no resistance. So I find with nature, there's this lack of resistance that I want in my life. So if you're looking for something in your life, don't look to other humans, look to nature, observe the animals. What are the animals doing? What are the birds doing? What are the trees doing? What are the flowers doing? And integrate that. That's where the mystery and the magic is. That's where, and people go, oh, you're so calm and you're so centered and you're so this. It's because I observe nature. It's because I take note of the hidden language that is available to all of us. And when you learn the language of your environment, then you can keep your energy centered. And then the ripple impact of that is going to change lives that you wouldn't even know is going to be impacted by your self-responsibility of maintaining your energy. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And even for people in the corporate world or in their businesses, when they're maintaining their energy, that will have an effect on their own energy. And then that will have an effect on the people they work with. And it's not only like the suppliers and the customers, it's also the employees' families that will have an impact, because, you know, they come home from work and they say, partner, I had a great day today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they say, how was your day? And they share that. So
yeah. That's it. That's the ripple. When in 1994, when I was told that I would have an impact on the world if I chose the alternate destiny that a clairvoyant said to me, I thought, oh, how do you do that? And then one day when I was pondering, like, we don't allow ourselves to do this as much as we could. And that's just stare into the middle distance and let our imagination, run free and be uninhibited. And what happened in that staring into the middle distance, I actually saw a drop in my mind's eye land in a still pond. And it created a ripple, which created a ripple, which created a ripple. And the ripples went all the way to the edge of the pond. And then I had the awareness, oh my goodness, the energy of that ripple just keeps going. It doesn't stop at the edge of the pond. And in that moment, I thought, I can impact all of the world, but I'm only responsible for impacting that first circle, because then they're going to impact the next circle. And then that circle will impact the next circle. And the ripple will just go out. Because if I give all of my energy to that first circle, then they're going to feel empowered to give all their energy to the next and the next and the next. And that's how you can impact the world.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I heard on a similar theme, the piece of impacting another. So when a business or an idea has a replication rate of 1, it's pretty much done. It'll just happen. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who use Facebook, their replication rate was 1.3, and they said they were going to be $1 billion company at the replication rate of 1.3. So to put some numbers to that beautiful natural analogy, Julie, is, that's the context of the ripple effect that you can have set in a different way.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh,
and
wonderful.
You find your way to grasp and understand some of the universal principles. And it doesn't always have to be dry and left brain oriented. You can be very right brain oriented for understanding or having the insight of the concepts of leading a business to have impact in the world.
And I would think that even that it is more refreshing to hear from a leader, as I'm finding when I'm speaking with you, to hear from a leader who can draw on those natural analogies and nature as it is in the world, and use that as a premise for how you live your life, how you celebrate with your family, how you treat your friends, how you run your business. Like, I just think, in my setting, because I have the podcast and I also have a corporate role, for one of my leaders, or for me even, to start to use the analogy of, when you're a drop and you create a wave or a ripple, would just be so refreshing. So I just feel to ask the question to those listening, what is an analogy, drawing from the beautiful examples that Julie has shared, that you could use to represent nature in your work, and exploring that?
That is a really good question. And I'd love to hear what your listeners say and how they draw on nature to illustrate what's going on in their work environment, whether they're a business owner or an employee or a contractor or whatever. It's we all are a world within the world, and I believe that we're a fractal of the universe. Do you know what a fractal is?
I think I do. My off the cuff is like a small slither of something greater, something like that, like a kind of like a light ray is how I think of it. But do go on.
So a fractal is, you can actually design fractals, and they're like mathematical art. So there's maths involved in fractals, and yes, but it's not just a slither of something, it's actually an absolute replication of something at a smaller level. So it's like, you can have, like, I don't know, you see these images of the entire universe, and I'm sure we haven't seen the entire universe, where there's all these galaxies, and then within the galaxy there's planets and stars and the sun, and then within that we have the planet, and then on the planet we have humans, and then within the humans we have nerves and cells and organs. And when you look at the universe, I've got a photo of it that I share with people on retreat. There's nebulas and there's all these things happening. And then there's a photo of the neuron in the brain. It looks exactly the same as the universe.
Yeah.
And then they've got a photo of the World Wide Web on the planet, and all the connections of that looks exactly the same. So, like, that's just one example, but you break a walnut in half, and you look at the walnut and it looks like the brain. You cut an avocado and it looks like a womb. So in nature, we have fractals, if you want to call it that, of things inside of the body. But when you see photos from the Hubble telescope of the universe, you see things in the universe that look like things in the human body. So that's why I feel like we're a fractal of the universe. So what did I say earlier? A fractal is an absolute replication of something that is larger. And so I don't know if you've heard about the spark of conception. It's phenomenal. So Google the spark of conception, when the sperm and the egg actually truly connect. There's this flash of light, and it's an emerald green light. And scientists have said that in that flash, all the knowledge of the universe is downloaded into that two cells, or that joining. And so then what happens is the baby becomes a, two cells and 4 cells, and it just does this multiplication process. And so that gets me pondering, Alana, okay, so I am a world within this world, and when I listen to people, I think my world is so different to your world. How is your world so different to my world? And so there's a curiosity. So curiosity is another really important part of living an extraordinary life is to have curiosity about your environment, about the way other people live their world. And it's that curiosity that, as a business leader or a leader in an organization, allows you to expand your business beyond what the human mind could even conceive on its own. And so that's what I also mean by bring energy into what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, because it's when you look in that expanded view, that's where possibilities are endless. And when you have endless possibilities, you have endless solutions. And so wouldn't it be awesome to bring through a solution that nobody else had discovered yet?
It would be. And I'm just in awe. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling listening to you. Wow. Just wow. Again and again.
Welcome to my world.
I think that's so incredible. And I would love to, if people are just as I am going, this is amazing. How you mentioned your Instagram, and I'm sure that you have an incredible website. Where can people find out more about you, Julie?
Okay, so my Instagram page is Medical Intuitive Julie Lewin, and I have another one called Light Code Lab. So I'm in business with my daughter, and so Light Code Lab is where that's my next adventure, if I can say that. So probably they can search me on Facebook, Julie Lewin, and go to lightcodelab.com and check me out there. I've got a YouTube channel, medical, I think it's Julie Lewin. I think I looked the other day, there's about 89 videos on there. So, and if they go to my website, julielewin.com, there's a lot of interviews on there that I've done. But I have to say, Alana, this has probably been my absolute favorite interview.
Oh, I'm receiving that. Wow.
Because I haven't ever shared outside of my inner circle what I've talked about today.
Oh, wow. What an incredible, I keep on using that word. I don't have access to any other words. Just to be able to have that level of intimacy in what you've shared in your conceptual thinking, like I just think it's all so full and expansive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's a testament to your energy. So this is another example that we can use to illustrate. We respond to energy. We're energy beings. And when we're in the presence of somebody with beautiful energy, with expansive energy, we respond to that. So that's a testament to your energy and the work that you've done personally for me to actually, A, feel safe, and B, to be inspired to share what I've shared with you and your listeners. And that's testament to you and your resonance and your frequency.
Oh gosh, thank you. I wasn't expecting that. I'm receiving that in. Yeah, wow. So Julie also has, as we were chatting before we started, she has a meditation that is a short meditation that is something who people years later have come back to her and said, I still use that, and it's what I might go to, it's what I come back to. Mm-hmm. So Julie's is going to be so kind enough to share that with us. And I'm going to, in a moment, pop myself on mute and hand over to Julie, and I'll meditate. So we'll have that experience. And then also I will take this opportunity, because we'll finish off the meditation, to thank Julie for all her like radiant vibes and knowledge as well. So thank you, and over to you.
All right, are we ready? Here we go. Make yourself comfortable. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in, drawing that breath all the way up to the top of your shoulders. Hold it and gently release, letting go of any tension out of your body, all the way out. Take another deep breath in, drawing that breath all the way up to the top of your shoulders. Hold it and gently release, all the way out, letting go of any residual tension. That's it. And one more time, take a deep breath in, drawing that breath all the way up to the top of your shoulders. Hold it and gently release, all the way out. Breathing normally now, I want you to imagine or feel or know that you are a seagull. You're coming from the perspective of the seagull flying out over the ocean. The sky is above and the water is below. And I want you to note, what does your ocean feel like or look like? Or what's your knowing of the ocean? Is it rough? Is it smooth? Are there big waves? Are there small waves? Are there white caps? There's no right or wrong answer. You just need to observe or know or sense what your ocean is right now. Now that you are aware of that, with your mind, make your ocean completely smooth, like a lagoon, not even a ripple. It is as smooth as glass. I'll give you a moment to do that. Your mind is powerful and it can do amazing things. So make your ocean smooth as a lagoon. And you'll feel it or see it or know it when it's smooth. And if it's not already smooth, it is smooth now. And as that seagull, I want you to make your way over land. And over land you will find below you, and you will sense it or know it or see it, a garden bed of flowers. And they are particular flowers. They are gerbera flowers. And gerberas are like a sunflower, but they're on a very thin stem. And they blow in the breeze. And sometimes they have bent stems. Sometimes they might even be broken. With your mind, sense or know or see, what do your flowers look like? Are they all up straight and tall, or are there some leaning over? Are there some broken? There's no right or wrong, it just is. And I'll give you a moment to make all of your flowers stand up straight and tall with their faces facing the midday sun. And the sun is like this enormous magnet drawing them up straight and tall, like they're standing to attention. And I'll give you a moment to do that with your mind. And you'll know or sense or see or feel when they are all up straight and tall. And if they're not all up straight and tall, they are now. And I want you to imagine that you are now back over your ocean. You've flown back out to sea. You're over the ocean. Just check in to make sure that your ocean is still smooth as glass. And you will know or see or sense or not even hear whether it's smooth or not. And if it's not, make it smooth as glass. And I'll give you another moment to do that if it needs to be done. And you can do that quickly, and if it's not smooth as glass, it is now. Now we are going to travel deep inland, and we're going to be standing on a cliff edge. And there's a crevasse with a rope bridge across to another cliff edge. Now you can see this or feel it or know it or sense it. And you are going to walk across that rope bridge to the other side and feel all of the feels. You are perfectly safe, but walk from one side of the cliff to the other side of the canyon or the crevasse. And I'll give you a minute to do that. You are perfectly safe. And if it swings or sways in the breeze, you can use your mind to calm the elements, but make your way to the other side. I'll give you 10 more seconds to make it to the other side. If you are not already up the other side, you are there now. And I want you to turn around and look back across that journey that you've been, across that rope bridge, and you will notice or you'll see or feel or know that rope bridge has turned into a 4-lane bridge. It's wide and it's solid and it's safe. Your confidence is high. You've done that with your courage to face any fears and walk across that rope bridge. And now you can walk across that 4-lane bridge knowing how safe you are, and take that feeling with you, that knowing, that knowledge, that sense of feeling so safe. And as you're walking across that bridge or feeling yourself move in that space, you're becoming absorbed into the fabric of the energy. And if you are seeing, your body will be dissolving. If you're feeling, you will feel light. If you're sensing, you will sense this lightness. And now there's an alchemical flash of light, and you are all the way back into your body and into the room. Take a deep breath in, drawing that breath all the way up to the top of your shoulders, coming all the way back into the room and into your body. And if you feel lightheaded, place the palm of your hand on the crown of your head. And gently breathe as you fully integrate back into your body and into the room. And open your eyes when you are ready.